That's July.
Building starting at 3.
Go ahead, open up, bro.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises.
Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Hakodash.
Jump on to the elders and apostles, great millstone, and peace and bless the elect of Israel. We're the brothers here in GMS Tampabay, coming to you again through the Spirit of God, Yahweh, traveling another live lesson. And we're just get into prophecy. And the whole purpose of the ministry of the prophets is to prophesy. Prophesy means to fulfill, right? But unto a watchman, they're looking for something. So what are we looking for? We're looking for the Lord's return, right? Signs of his return are clearly evident to those who are in the know. As Yahushua said, going to disciples asking them, why do you speak to them in parables, right? To the people, right? In parables, because Yahushua said it's for you to know the mystery of the kingdom. And as Yahushua said in another parable, he said, when they were asking, demanding, and when shall, when or where should the kingdom of heaven come? He said it's not going to come with observation. Of course, it's going to be a physical event, but the spiritual aspect of it, the Lord is building up this man, which is the kingdom. The kingdom is experience, and that experience is played out through men on the planet Earth. And right now, the experience on the planet Earth, John reports that the earth has been given into the wicked. So the experience of this earth is reigning wickedness, right? It all stems from the leadership, right? We're going to our kingdom, which is not better than all the people said in the book of Daniel, going to come after this place is destroyed. Matter of fact, I'm going to get segment 4, starting 28, because unless this place goes, we can't have our everlasting kingdom. So that's what we watch this place to go down as we're commanded to do first and foremost. And one of the things that we're looking for is for our time to shine, so to speak. Can happen, the place destroyed, right? But it got
It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 4, verse 28. But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come.
Right, the evil is sown, going to wickedness, right? But they haven't reaped, right, the reward for that. Going to the beast, like the white man, ultimate gold power structure, the beast system, the native you after go to America, be in Babylon, the great before to rise that beast. Ultimately getting this whole kingdom as a whole, the evil sown is evil present throughout the four corners of the earth, the devil giving license to sin, right, man to man, and all this stuff that the Lord abhors, he allows, So all this evil is sown, but destruction, it ain't manifest yet, Because they're just asking all these questions like, damn, pretty much when we gonna be on top, Yet he also said, the world we made for our sakes, why these niggas ruling over us, So get into the deep, pretty much the understanding is we went off, and the Lord punishing us. There's nothing new on the sun, right? He's going to raise us up ultimately in these last days, because again, it's all going to biblical prophecy, But this time, that last time, because again, going to our forefathers, which we didn't get the book of Acts, first chapter, it was well understood that the kingdom will ultimately return to us, So pretty much the long old question is how long, David asked that, how long, how long until amen we have our promise, we're in that time now,
Second Ezra, chapter 6.
Yeah,
The point. They will begin to make inquisition of him, what they do that have perfect justice and righteousness, and with the affliction of life.
It's all about time with the Lord. Just like a king rules, he rules a balance, and the balance of times is in his head, the time where the Lord's gonna have mercy on time, that's on the Lord's time, And again, he didn't give us the exact date. That's why this thing's all back down, falls down to faith, And our forefathers in faith, they died, came back, here again, seeing and asking, is this the last time? And if this is the last time,
Going back in Second Ezra 4, verse 29, it says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down,
right.
And if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good.
Right. So this again, on this place has to go before what is good in the kingdom. chapter, going into that path that was clean here in the kingdom, was very straight, how I talked about as well, that narrow straight path, book of Exodus, confirming to his old disciples that we much tribulation shall enter the kingdom. This is the path. The timing is playing out just how the Lord intended it to be. That's why it goes focusing down patience, right? Waiting on the Lord. But again, that's what they say, oh, y'all so negative, y'all gloom and doom, prophets of doom, well, because this is what the Lord told us to do. And we understand that this place has to be destroyed before, our happy ever after comes. So, or,
Second from the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
Right. Going to that world as eon. It's fine. Well, six. You saw the time should be the dividing of the times, right? The ending of one and the entering of another, right? It's the Lord named of people. And people will be in direct conflict in the last days, which is playing out right now, real time. When you so-called News 13, the Americans, Israelites, and seed of the wicked, okay, Esau. So white man is his tribes, okay, the dupes of Edom, which we all go back to a certain line on the earth, going to the Genesis 10th chapter, about the table of nations, all right? And there's a nation where the Lord hates, and there's a nation where the Lord loves, okay? And again, going to the Lord movie, this is again the climax of that movie right now. But once again, the disciples asked them, and to the point that was well known that eventually the Lord will give us the kingdom, because at the time where they were speaking, it was the time of the Roman Empire, right? And now in this time, it's the modern Roman Empire, so for America, right? The same thing, all right? When going to be the end of the world and signs like coming in the end of the world, all right? Because signs are observable things, and look for a sign, right? Put on the checklist, okay, this is that, then on to the next one. Okay, we're watching for again the Lord's promise. It's coming past second chapter, right? Matter of fact, I'm trying to grab back to. Read that again.
Yeah. In Matthew 24, verse 3. Now he said upon the Mount of Olives, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? The sign of thy coming and the end of the world.
Right.
And Luke 2, start from the top.
Yeah.
Says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I should answer when I am reproved.
Right, and that's what the prophets do. They wait for the word of the Lord to hit you. During lessons, wait for the Spirit of the Lord to hit you. So going to the watchmen, they're waiting for what the answer of the Lord's going to be. And standing upon their watch, waiting for the answer, right?
And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
And what is that talking about? That little book, right? The little book that's been left for us, all right, to go into that scroll, go into the record, right? And for us to really see again, going to the divine intervention of the times that we're involved in. Because without this little book, without Yahweh's sacrifice, it feels being broken ultimately, because you can have this book, but it's about understanding. Without the understanding of this book, all right, it would be useless. It would be useless in these last days. And ultimately, the world will come to pass, all right, which has not going to happen. But again, to this, when the scriptures talk about it is finished, this is what it's talking about. The story is complete. Now it just has to play out here on this earth. And that's what we're waiting for. That for the Lord's prayer. That will be done on earth as it is.
Read that again. I'm going to precept for you. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. It says, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And the vision is according to the prophecies, the signs of the times in which we're to proceed. We go back to the scriptures, so we're not here to write another book. The scriptures have already been written. So we hear that, say, blessed be that reader and keepeth the words of this prophecy. But this second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1 says, he answered me then, that ventured out the time diligently in itself. And let me jump up to second Ezra chapter 8, verse 62 and bring it in. It says, these things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee, and a few like thee. Then answered I and said,
And going to that, we just read, man, book chapter, it was privately, it was happening. It wasn't in front of everybody. I was just exposed for everybody. Certain things that you didn't go home, the body, the church, have the mystery.
Ezra chapter 8, verse 63. Behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times, but at what time thou hast not showed me. Going to the ninth chapter, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And so the Lord, he gave his prophets, these visions. And like I said in the book of Habakkuk, writing to make it plain upon tables. But, starting in front of the prophets of old, they wrote these things down. And as he's inquiring just as we are inquiring right now. Okay, we got the signs, we got the prophecies, but when you go, when is the Lord going to return? When is Babylon going to be destroyed? When are we going to receive that salvation and enter into the kingdom? All right, he said, measure the time diligently. Everything I showed you and everything that the prophets wrote down. You mention the times by those prophecies in which you have written down.
The prophecies there again, though. Race. After the time, what is the race though?
Oh, the relay.
Yeah, it's pretty much spiritual relay. Get these same prophecies and pretty much more understandings of them. Prophecies you read about are just reiteration of the same thing. This time we haven't fully understood because of obstacles for that time. It's going to let's talk about Corinthians. Paul said, we do last time darkly. So it's broad at the beginning. When they spoke certain things, prophets. That's why Ezra's asking. He's prophesying, but he don't know it. Because he wouldn't understand in this time. Everything's for a point of time.
Back in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
That's the whole point. It's going to speak for itself, and it's going to come to pass. It shall surely come to pass. The Lord said, my word shall not return void. So when the Lord's speaking, that's why people get dismayed, y'all just guzzle and whoever. But the message is what? We're speaking the words of the Lord, being oracle. It don't got nothing to do with us, it's about the message. That's what they can't get past because they're carnal. But again, going to the message, it's going to come to pass, whether it be in our lifetime, which we know is going to be in our lifetime, or not. It's going to come to pass regardless, and you can't stop it because it's going to speak for itself and it's going to play out on its own. Forward, free to chip, and all this stuff at the doorstep. So really, Jay got no excuse, but that's why it goes to the point. The Lord's only dealing with his. That's why the spiritual's like, damn, we always go to how the hell you not really comprehend what's going on around you? Can you not see? It's because they can't see. The Lord has a spirit on them, really an angel blinding them so they can't understand because when judgment comes, all right, they're going to be judged. They're going to see with their own eyes, their own instruction. Damn, I should listen. I should do this and that because ultimately the Lord is judging for their evil.
This is the book of Luke 21 and 22. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. All right, so these are all the things that were written before time, and we're actually seeing these things play out. All right, we're seeing the famines arising, we're seeing the earthquakes, we're seeing all the different signs and things that were written throughout the scriptures. So it's showing that the Lord is getting ready to bring the vengeance upon the earth. All right, but getting ready to usher in what? The kingdom of heaven.
That's the energy of the Lord's coming in. People have understanding of the Lord, they so soft, blonde hair, blue eyes, come as you are, walking over all, a walk over, stamp, whatever. The Lord, he says, I'm coming to bring a sword, and I'm not bringing no peace. I'm not coming to chill and parlay with you. I'm going to come and judge, except for those that are chosen, but everybody else is going to get it. Jack wanted to Isaiah, Isaiah 6, the slay the Lord shall be many, the Lord's going to come down with fire. Never said the Lord's going to come with flowers and some soft return, the Lord's going to come with his stuff. Because again, he's not okay with how the world is being run right now. But what happens that they're saying goes, it kind of weakness. We just goes into again, it's all playing out till the time of the Lord because going to time more, they didn't know they're going to be destroyed to that date. They didn't know it was going to flood in Noah until they got flooded. And that's how it always plays out. Until there's no remedy. You get warned. The Lord tells you up and be destroyed if you don't repent. Some of our people, all right, they don't listen, and the judgment comes. They look all crazy. They're gonna know as to stay a prophet in a month. Yeah,
Hebrews 13:33. This cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that it cometh.
and that goes into what Apostle Peter said. We have a more sure word of prophecy. We're not changing the script. We're not backpedaling and saying, "Damn, now we gotta adjust our breakdown." No, it's actually being more clear. Something was said decades ago, about the chip. Now we see clearly how it's coming to pass. We knew a chip was coming. The student apostle on down. He knew that the CF was coming. All right, but how it was going to be implemented, it wasn't clear at that time. But now it's clear. The CBDCs and all that stuff. All right, our breakdown never changed. You look at the other camps, the other guys breaking this stuff down. It's not standing. It's not withstanding. That's what endurance is. It's how long can it last. And what they're talking about ain't lasting. But it talks about the light that we have is going to shine brighter and brighter. Until that perfect day going to return the Lord. Not that, yeah. Yeah, because we're going to the judgments and what's happened. Because that's going to ancient Egypt. Lord delivered his people out of great, delivered his people through great judgments. So that's how the Lord's going to do it this time.
Matthew 24:4. And how shall I answer and say to them, take heed that no man deceive.
Exactly. Pay attention. This is coming straight from the Lord's mouth. This is how it's going to play out. If it comes out some other way, niggas talking like this or like that, that's what they in the book of Isaiah. The Lord's testimony, they speak not according to his words because no light, and that's how you don't get heed. Is listen to what the Lord said.
So, and that's us showing another sign of the ends. All right, that's what we see in these last days. All right, many of these different Israelite groups, they're out here professing these other different false doctrines. All right, basically deceiving the flock. All right, and getting them to go another whole way. So basically, this is what showing us we are at the end. All right, this is one of the signs that we are at the end, and the Lord is showing us that many false prophets were going to arise. That's why you see so many people flocking to these other different Israelite groups. But it's just showing us it's another sign. All right, that many people are going to follow their pernicious ways. All right, the scriptures talk about it how they were going to wax worse and worse in the last days, and deceiving those the simple. All right, so this is why the Lord had showed us, all right, these different signs, so that we can take heed.
As I said, take heed that mass deception, because we at the end, and basically what Esau bringing forth is chaos. All right, it's going to be a scramble to basically herd people this way or herd people to whatever direction. They come in that spirit of being anointed, being a Messiah, being a prophet. That's what the Lord is talking about, man. But the Lord said, "My sheep hear my voice," and another that basically they will not hearken unto. Okay, so we're in a time of mass deception, all right, and the devil is about to show forth his great wonders through his technology, all right, and 2023, all right, it's going to bring in a year of basically drama, man, all right, because this place is going to go out in a dramatic fashion. Okay, a lot of things are prophesied to happen on the right hand side and on the left hand side. All right, all these economists are coming out talking about basically 70% of a recession, a downturn is about to be like never seen before, and all these things are prophesied to come into play here in 2023. And also too, you got China. All right, they say they got 800 million cases of the thingy, the C1, you know, the O the Ovid, and so things are getting ready to happen, man. So be not deceived, deception. All right, the heavy deception is going out in these last days, man, because now he has nothing to lose, man. His time is almost up. He's paying people off, giving people bags, paying people off. He got controlled oppositions, you know, All these celebrities coming out talking about this, talking about that, talking about the Hebrews and Jews and stuff. So, mass deception, this is the time. So the Lord is saying, be not deceived, man. It's no coincidence these celebrities are coming out here. We at the end, and all these celebrities coming forth the mainstream media talking about the Israelites. This is that mass deception. So this is a stern warning that Yahushua is giving concerning the signs of the end.
Remember that the seed 24.
Basically, that's what Esau had to do. He had to attempt, which is not going to work for the elect, because as we go into the read Matthews, if possible, right? But he had to kind of dilute the movement, so to say. So now he basically made it more broad. Israel, Israel, here, Israel, everybody waking up, the whole, supposed of everything. So, they made it more broad, put it more out there, kind of desensitize you a little bit concerning, but at the end of the day, it's all deception. Okay.
Going to how our captivity is now more mental, because it wasn't enough to have Jacob back in, but Jacob rebelled. Jacob stood which thing, like in the bars, seeing how this separated, watching, it's more beneficial for Esau to engraft you in his world, because that will control you. He has a narrative, when your mind is controlled, the body. So that's why they don't go into that mass possession, because he wants your mind. All this energy, time he's going to do on the left hand side is to have your mind controlled. All this. So, he pumps on the television, he wants your mind, because again, where your mind is, where your body follows. Yeah, I wish I said it. Where the eye is, the body will follow for praise, where your heart is, where your treasure is, So he wants you here on this earthly plane because this is his world, staying, this regime staying, he has his hand over Esau, so white man, which, going to hold above him, staying, staying is just a boy of the Lord. We got that up with Job. He's up there with the Lord having counsel too. Ain't up there fighting, but he's going on there, going pretty much going to play up for his movie, Proverbs 64. And again, going to that mass possession because he wants to keep you away from what's good for you. It's misleading. That's the whole point. That's his job. We're going again with according to what Yahushua said, now my sheep, they can't be deceived. So if you can't deceive them, you can't have control of them because they've been set free.
Let me back you up real fast, Overshot. This is the book of Colossians 3. I'm going to start from the top, all right? Because the brother made a good point. Okay. Colossians 3:1, it says, if ye then be risen with Yahushua, and we have been risen, all right, with Yahushua, okay, being reborn again, all right, from our dead bodies, Ezekiel the 37th chapter, all right, can these dead bones live? Or us being risen, why that? Because the scripture said the Lord has raised us up with basically a lively hope, all right, that's what quickened us, all right, that's the faith. So if you be risen with Yahushua, seek those things which are above, which Yahushua sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. And that's the point. Set your affections on things above, not on things of the earth. So as the brother's going to, if your heart is on things above and not on this earth, Esau cannot control you. Okay, he has no power over you. Because once again, as the brother stated, he has control over this physical realm. He has power over the physical realm. The Lord is given, as the earth is given the hand of the wicked. So once again, set your mind on things up above. Because that way he can't control you if your mind is up in heaven. He only can control those whose mind is here in the carnal, all right, who hasn't been risen. He only can control the dead, all right, but we're not dead, man. We've been risen with Yahushua, so he can't control our minds, all right. That's why he do his stunts. He does his events and all this stuff. He plays on the emotions of the people, all right. Controlled opposition, his media, all right, him squeezing things and making things hard, inflation, making things harder for people to pay their bills. Well, those are all worldly sorrows. All right. Our mind is in the heaven, meditating on the kingdom. All right, meditating on everlasting things, meditating on the prophecies, things to come, not on the things here present. Okay, so we can't be controlled by this devil. You know, as far as as we're going to be not deceived, he can't control us because his power is only in the physical realm. All right, the things he does only in physical. So if our mind's up in heavens, what he does on this planet Earth, it has no effect over the elect or will we not.
That's the point of us to remain spiritual, sticking to the script because the script's not going to change. You know what I'm saying? The only way you lose, if you have the winning hand, the only way you lose is if you don't have confidence in your hand. You know, the Lord gave us, you know, again, the food we need. That's why, again, we look past this place. You know, this place, again, we know it's going to be destroyed. Why the hell are we going to put our stuff, fish as far as stuff, or those going to be destroyed? You know, and we have another point too. You know, your eyes, as we're talking about, is an evil member. You know, your tongue, you know, but your eyes is the evil member as well. You know, eyes easily tricked. You know, if you don't have discipline, your eyes can easily be tricked by them. Maybe say you lost your keys. You know, your keys, the motherfucker is right in front of you. You know, and you can't find them. You know, because your eyes, your perception can easily be tricked. You know, and that's what the devil does. Going to being a hallucinatory, a magician. You know, sense. You know, really the mocking. You know, he's insulting your intelligence. You know, by doing all these tricks and games. But that's why again, we know the words of Yahweh. We can't be tricked. Keep it in mind. You know, but
In Matthew 24, verse 5, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach,
right,
and shall be many.
right. So this, you know, going to this anti-Messiah system, you know, the philosophy of the Messiah stigma. You know, you're going to what is it, the X. You know, one of the is going to pretty much X out the Messiah. You got the Xmas. You know, Christmas. You know, this world. That's what goes into the book of Revelation. It says, where our Lord is crucified. You know, pretty much his ways are not kept in this world. You know, there's sodomy and all this other stuff going on. You know, they don't uphold the words of the Lord in this land. You know, so that's going into relation with 11, you know, where thereby shall lie, Revelation 8, 11, and 18. You know, so they're trying to X out the Most High by pretty much going off or trying to usurp his authority and skip his program. You know, that's why Psalm 2 chapter says, why did he even rage? You know, the devil's holds it up because going to a man that's in power, his whole mindset is just to stay in power. You know, but you know, or I put it out, was it Wisdom Psalm 6 chapter? The only way you're gonna rule forever is if you honor wisdom, you know, and you know, going to the wisdom now to Yahweh, or our wickedness, you know, but the devil, he thinks he's gonna overcome by his wickedness. That's why he's talking was Isaiah 47 chapter, you know, stand down with enchantments, because he's going to the left hand side because that's how he thinks he preserves power by trying to X out both sides program, you know. But and that doesn't just count for, you know, the whole was the macro. It's micro too, because you got niggas on the street, you know. Oh, I'm a god, I can deliver, you know. Y'all, you know, follow me, do this and that, you know. So many, it's not just one, you know. Many forms is going to that wide and broad gate, the Lord, you know.
The book of Acts chapter 20, started at verse 26, says, wherefore I take you to record this day, I am pure from the blood of all men. You know, that's what ultimately why we do these lessons, you know, day in, day out, on how we can speak out. You know, like the Lord told Ezekiel to warn the people from them. Verse 27, for I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counts of the Most High. You know, starting our apostles on down, giving us the 100% doctrine.
Yeah, and that goes into our innocence. We're literally giving everything. We're not. Y'all should say that. I spoke to y'all niggas daily in the temple. I didn't hide nothing from you. Never was the devil doing. He's not giving you a soul counsel. He's giving you what he wants to show you. You know, he's not showing you know, what his left hand is doing. He's waving his right hand, you know, but he's doing all this shit with the left hand, all this magnet. You know, he's not saying that I'm with a chick that's the one, you know, because he wants to deceive. You know, but going to us, we have nothing to hide from you. You know, we can go and honestly and break on the scriptures, you know, through spirit, what they mean. As for the state where they hear forbear, that shall not profit among them. And so that's the decision you got to make. That's between you and the Lord now. You've been warned, you've been told, and that's it. There's no more to it. You know, Jake want to try to be super duper, what Apostle Barb was, the galactic Israelites, you know. You know, things are too high for you. It just got cut. You can't comprehend the stuff that you see every single day. Measure fire. You can't do shit you deal with.
Yes, man.
Yeah, call back yesterday. But that's why again the simplicity that's in your shine. That's the key.
So it's pertaining to things unto salvation. What you can do to get delivered. Verse 28, Acts chapter 20, verse 28. Take heed therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock over which the Holy Spirit hath made you overseers, to feed the church of the Most High, which he hath purchased with his own blood.
And that's according to law. When you go into your brother's sheep, if the sheep get away, get loose, it's your job to take care of it till he comes. And that's what the Lord made us. Go into overseas. We got to watch out for a sheep till it returns. We can turn it back to what belongs to. And that's the shot. He gave authority over his servants to rule over his house. That's the prophecy. So we don't false notes down. We got a heavy and very important role to because remember, Yahushua died, even for the least of the nigga in our king, which he's a king, the least in our nation, the Lord died for. And it talks about that. The people scarcely die for righteous men, the Lord died for sinners. Most things doing on earth, the Lord died for. That's why Apostle always said, hey, he's still an Israelite. There's still a level of respect you have because these people are still.
Verse 29. I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. Also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things, to draw away disciples after them. Went to these other camps. Verse 31, I'll finish on here. It says, therefore watch and remember that by the space of 3 years I cease not to warn everyone night and day with tears.
That's the passion, that Apostle Paul had. What he did, good works he did. Warning, trying to ungentify, Gentile our people, return them back to the Lord. That's what we're doing. They're going to be nigga this, black that, Egyptian this. Oh man, you're Israel. We're warning you that there's people out there that are not in your best interest. They want you dead. The appetite of the wolf is lamb. Lamb tastes good, and it's for the belly. That's what these guys do. They serve themselves for their own belly. Lamb shit, this lamb tastes good. That's how these niggas are. Is what I was saying about the lamb and the fox. They how they try to get the lamb is that they have different tactics, but the same appetite is the lamb. The fox tries to be your friend. Think about a fox, real slick. Try to befriend you, be all cool. You talk about a nigga slick as a fox. They're real slick. But what do they want? They don't want to eat you. The wolf is more upfront. And it was that one story with Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf trying to defend somebody, and that shit don't work. Damn, how big teeth you have? Yeah, nigga, to bite you. That's what this devil's gonna do. He's gonna bite you. But going to the serpent, the kind of hunter that he is, he has a lot of patience. That's a skill required of a hunter. Patience. He doesn't just shoot at the first shot he has. He waits for the perfect shot. And that's the spirit of those important devil. It's just a problem. But that's again we're going to a warning. There's only one way to the truth. That's why it's for the state. There be many that find a few that find it because it's very specific. To go a direction that's a straight line. It's very specific. It's not that way. It's not that way. It's there. No other way. So the Lord's telling us that these paths that these guys might seem cool, but his breakdown of the chip or Revelation 13 chapter is always Christianity. Well, that's the broad gate, because a little step that way, that's gonna lead you way over in the wrong direction. He might got 99% of the truth. We need 100% of the truth. That's why Apostle Paul said, I have an unction. Well, not Apostle Paul, First John. We have an unction to know all things, right? We know everything pertaining to salvation, not everything as far as in existence. We know what we need to know to deliver ourselves from the time.
Matthew 24, verse 6. Ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. Be that ye be not troubled. All these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right. So somebody can say, "Oh, there's been wars happening," but it's a conglomeration. It's the unity of all these things coming past at one certain time. As to say, the acceptable year of the Lord. All these things are going to accumulate. As to say, they're going to come in their perfection. They're going to play out in their perfection. We're going to know exactly what time it is. Like Apostle was going to. We're not going to ask, "So this JT?" I don't know. This JT ain't that show. You're going to know. Especially when the chip gets made mandatory, things are gonna go really quick. It's not gonna be, oh, maybe this thing. No, that is the time. So again, it's a checklist. When you're observing something, go through a checklist, and that's what's going through the spirit. The prophets have made a diligent search, right? We're going through checklists and shit, and we're in the last days. This is it.
Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom.
Right. So what is that talking about? It's talking about World War III. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, where it's really everybody against so far in America. You know, going to wars, rumors of wars. Going to battles. There's many fronts. Right now the so-called America and Russia with Ukraine, these proxy wars. Russia and America are at war right now. They're not declaring in public that they're in war. They're in war because when you intervene and you help somebody, you choose a side. So what side is being played? One side is fighting against the other, right? Russia has one agenda, America has another.
It's the mediator.
Exactly. Yep. So when you're a supplier, all right, you're involved in that. So that's what's going on. And once again, was it Legislation chapter about these staying in war? These nations are going to ultimately fight and shoot thermal missiles over America, right? Thermal missiles did not exist until this time we're in right now. Good.
And Russia, real fast, because this is that war, pursuant to Isaiah, the ninth chapter, this war shall be fought. Basically, you burn fuel fire. All right, so check this out, right? So this is Russia, Turkey. This is supposed to go into production 2023. Russia begins deployment of new state-of-the-art StarMat ICBM. All right, because a new model has already been successfully tested or will enter service next year. And we all got big hopes that 2023 will be the year delivered. So, basically this going into service next year because it was successful. So everything is adding up, man. Russia's first new silo-based StarMat intercontinental ballistic missile will be deployed into service next year. Defense Secretary Shoigu has said at meeting that successful launches of the new heavy StarMat missile system during state-run tests made it possible to begin work on its deployment. All right, and this next year, man, all this stuff is lining up. There it is, a nasty missile, a StarMat, avant-garde, big boy, mass destruction. It's going to go into service next year. That ain't no coincidence, man. All these things are lining up for that big war, which is going to be by fire, man. Where the Lord is going to plead with all flesh, man. Okay.
And Lord God, any different. This is for something bathed in heaven. He's so. Man, behold, they of the house of Israel say the vision that he is for many days to come. Homicide of the times that are far off.
And you niggas at that time. That's for to say, though it tarry, So, there was a certain time when it happened. So you had your time to bullshit and say, oh, that's gonna be a long, I ain't gonna be in this lifetime. Well, now it's this time, as going to that what he's saying, it says I wasn't wrong, I was just early, you spoke it, it just didn't happen at that time, but it does not mean it wasn't fast. Now we're in that time. So now you have to deal with that. And that's why Yahweh said every other word. So all those, those words you were saying in the past life, this life, scoff, and every little nicker that you said, slide your mouth, the Lord kept into account, and if you're not covered by the blood of the Lamb, you're gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna have to sit in that seat, they're gonna instant replay your ass, like ESPN, they replay touchdowns, everything, they're gonna replay your folly. The Lord's gonna replay your folly, and it's gonna, that's what it say, your sins in that day shall be forgiven.
Then 55 says, look, the word that I speak, well, it's not coming back to him void, man. The Lord raised up a prophet in Babylon, on the biblical prophecy, so they can speak these words and things so you can repent, because the kingdom is that close. All right, the house of David is being built on the right hand side, while you've seen, if you have eyes to see, the downfall and destruction of Babylon. Great. So back in the brother up, you have Satan one, Satan two. You have these things taking place, all you got to do if you're paying attention, check out.
China got thousands of nuclear warheads. The other day, a couple years ago, there was in the news, like 2021, last year, saying that China wants, Pentagon responded saying, China wants thousands of warheads. Why the hell they need thousands of warheads for? You know, the nuclear warheads at that, is because why? Because prophecies are coming fast. It's the formula. That equation is going to be destruction. This plus that plus that plus that is destruction. We was going into this fourth chapter, the evil song, but it's a point in time where to reap, and that's what time will come into. Obviously, the Lord's going to start plucking, man, like he said he would. But
Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 20. Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, there shall none of my words be prolonged anymore, but the words which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord. The words that the Lord has spoken are being done, right? So it's going heavy into it. Right? I've got the second chapter. It's spoken about thousands of years ago, but now we're living in a time where these things are taking place, man. All right, simultaneously as the Lord is destroying Babylon the Great, he's building up like the right hand.
and now, going to the war of prophecies, this is the time we're going to be awarded for us being every lifetime. Ezekiel, this is thousands of years ago. Niggas saying, "Oh, the Lord ain't coming." Because there was always talk about a Messiah. Yahushua coming and redeeming his people, the nation who was going into it. Man, it was really well known throughout our people that the Lord eventually would give us the kingdom. But again, going to niggas, oh, my grandma been saying, auntie been saying that forever. All right, but now look now. That's why again, what's another saying that says, "He that what you always spoke, last best." We're gonna have the last laugh because why? We're gonna be laughing with the Lord, And he said in Proverbs first chapter, we're gonna be laughing with him because it's not always happening. Niggas have your fun, all right, until it's done. That's what happens. Coming to this place and it's done. So you got a few grains of sand left. Probably got half. That bitch probably dropping. If it's 2023, that bitch about to hit the ground. So we're waiting for year one in the kingdom. We're tired of year 2023. Year zero, in the kingdom, when he's dealt with slavery, that's what we're waiting for. Yeah.
Matthew 24, verse 8. All these are the beginning of stuff.
Right. So going into Jake can't deal with this shit now, suicide going real high. People can't deal with minimum, one in the fridge. They ain't got all the extra snacks they had, water, probably got a few things of water left. This place is one crisis away from being over with. You saw how it happened in the pandemic. Jay couldn't deal. They couldn't wait to get built up. So, thing, what did Jake do? Jake don't learn. They could cry and ask for help, and then what Jake do? Go back to his bullshit. Buying Hellcats and everything, and them Hellcat payments, they going up. So all again, once all your fun you had it's time to have fun and play around and Guam Israelite, Shalom, night, because it's mainstream news now. Well, the Lord just did that so you can get condemned, because stuff's gonna start moving quick,
It's only gonna get worse next year, man.
There you go.
Worse. You think it's been bad. It only gonna get worse, man. All right. But
Yeah. And that's what the prophet's gonna keep telling you. They're not gonna tell you it's gonna get better. Niggas tell you it's gonna get better. They not in the spirit of God. That's what's going to the point of don't be deceived, bro. Don't fall asleep. They promising peace. Shit. Ain't no peace coming, bro. No peace nowhere. But they say, well, one to outside told us, you're supposed to be those your household. So even if you wake up in your crib, you got war. So how much more when you go outside? Ain't nobody in your best interest now in this world. So imagine everybody's backs against the wall, everybody's sick, broke, in fucked up situations, what are they gonna do? They're gonna turn you in, rat you out. We're in a year of great, a time of great betrayal. But we have ourselves, he going to the hour of temptation he went through a time of great betrayal, So that's why, going to our mindset in this world, screw this world, screw these people. He also said it says, who's my mother, who's my brother. We don't have nobody besides those that speak the same language we speak, and that's why, going to the Lord being a man of war, we're going to see who's going to come out at the end of all this, and it's going to be the Lord's elect, the Lord's chosen. It don't seem like we're going to win, That's why I should say, pretty much not judged not by appearances, we walk by faith, not by sight. Don't look like we're going to come out on top, but shit, as every day goes past, it's looking more and more like we was right, you know, and it ain't nothing to say against us besides slander campaign. That's why we know persecution's coming, slander, lies, trying to make up stuff because they want to guide you to what we're trying to tell you, which is the truth. The truth don't gotta come in a package and all nice and dandy. Truth comes out is, say the bitter truth. The truth is truth. So again, going to a world of lies. That's why we're number one enemy in this world because this world's built off that. Started from nigga on the corner to all the way to these governments to pretty much going to Jerusalem as a whole. It's ran in lies. So that's why going to where the Lord gave us the sword, is cutting it down this place. Works on warfare not being carnal. Places crumbling at the same time the truth came out. Not a coincidence. No other time in history you can say that America's been down. America's been up. Ever since going to Elder Albert Bivens, and going to prophecy that I will come back. Which is John the Baptist. In these last days, that cry. And ever since that cry went out, the cry to the Father, I go, hey man, this place has been going down real fast. And that's what the Lord told us, man. That's why again we watch these times. Get that in Peter, according to his promise. And we look for the heavens and the earth. We're looking for space to blow up. Waiting for, you're going to a fireworks show. You're waiting for the grand finale. Everything going off at one time. It's the best part of the show. And it's ultimately going to destruction this place and delivering the Lord's people. Lord, we be part of that. People like, go.
Book of 2 Peter chapter 3.
You can probably read up wherever.
All right. 2 Peter chapter 3. And I'll start at verse 8. It says, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
Yep, and that's why going to the heavenly timing, that's what the Lord's time is different. How we move down on earth, things are very quick. Up there in the heaven, things play out slower. Think about space. We move fast, things slow down. So I imagine the speed of light the Lord's moving at. Up there in the heavens. Because Paul says it's unlawful for me and stuff I saw. So the timing up there is just know the timing up there is different. So it feels like a long time to you, but it's not a long time for
it. 2 Peter 3 and 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness.
Yep, and that's Jake, the unbelievers of our people. Going back to right after the Lord delivered our people, Jake didn't have no faith. Murmuring and all this other stuff. And the Lord furnished a table in the wilderness, provoking the Lord to anger. This is that same people, calling slackness of the Lord's promise, saying, Lord ain't going to do this, Lord ain't going to do that. You same people are here today. That's how you know it's our people.
But it's long suffering to us work,
right,
not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
And that was the intent. That's what Paul said as well. I hope that all Israel gets saved. But we know that only remnant's going to return. But the whole point is that going to the Lord being long suffering is for us to wake up. But it's for to say this gospel shall be preached of the four corners of the earth. Then the end shall come. So this gospel has been preached of the four corners of the earth because why? Because God has to raise up his elect. Talks about I forgot where it's at, but our Lord was long suffering once for Noah to the building of his house. He had to build that ark. The Lord was long suffering at time because he had to build the ark. Before the ark was finished, the Lord couldn't flood the earth. That's how it is now in this time. We're building. The Lord called us master builders. Speaking my boss knows I'm down. So we're building righteously. We have the righteous instruction. That's how we build. So when the time comes, the fires come. Our house can be able to because it's built.
Verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Yep. So going to a thief in the night, you're not expecting, your house gets robbed, get ran through is because you're, sometimes you can't prevent it. Just going to a simple explanation is that because you're at ease, you got the motherfucking windows open, doors open, everything's open, and that's how this place is right now. Everything is open. Everybody's real loose. Things is a hostile environment, but going to the point they're not. expecting the Lord to return, because all this evil happening, remember, the Lord said, after all this, you know, he says, there shall be great tribulation to the likes of never been seen before. Then the Lord will return, So no one's going to expect the Lord to return, and especially when he does return, the energy is coming in return. Like, what is this, And what is this all about? People looking up and bugging out. And then imagine you getting beamed up, in front of, you know. So this is going to, again, the beautiful story the Lord's playing out. He's playing out here on earth, Read it again.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise,
Right.
and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Right. So again, going to how this thing's gonna play out, time had to, play out for it, how to increase. Now it's to increase going to this weapon technology, these missiles. So what it goes into the book of Isaiah, I see that road to the fall. That couldn't come to pass unless that technology that's out here today, we've done with missiles. So that's how it's now. That's another look for. This thing's involved by fervent heat, fire shit. What does that? Oh, nukes. And plenty of examples, nukes. But not say the missiles on support America. No, but that's why it goes to was there one man that asked, what does this mean? I forgot who it was. He was wrote up on the Peter. How can I learn? I know something teaching me.
Philip.
It was Philip.
Yeah, I used to eat him.
So how you gonna know that something teach you? That goes to the Lord raising up our teachers. Our eyes shall see that teachers, right? Yes.
Like everything's anything that deals his plan to his service.
Yeah, because he knows they have to fear the Lord. Not to say, I did that. Take a break. Take a preview. Here's my cash app. You get the rest of the breakdown. All that. No. They're gonna go out and they're gonna freely publish what's been told to them. They're not gonna mix it up saying shit. I ain't gonna say this. They're gonna say everything. How they feel is gonna be told to you.
There's a testimony.
Exactly.
Well, it said not that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. So that's why he didn't make a move yet, like the brother just read in Amos. The Lord, speaks through his prophets. And, that's the warning. That's the Lord stretching forth his hand to the nation of Israel. Second Peter chapter 3, verse 10 from the top again. But there the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things should be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godly?
Right. So now we know the world's going to end. How should we act? So we part like it's 1999? No. All right. You should act accordingly because the Lord's going to come and judge this place very harshly. We just read about elements melting with fervent heat. Does that sound like a fun time at Disneyland? It does not. It sounds like a horrible time, And this time that, is going to play out, it's going to be very, very quick. You cannot prepare yourself in that day. All right, I'm going to get ready for the day of Lord. You're already going to be hit with fucking 5 haymakers, be chipped up. It's already too late. You already lost. The battle, was playing out over your head while you're playing around and bull crapping. And man, there was men out here on this earth giving their life up, to serve the Lord to be able to serve for this time because they knew how bad it's going to be. The Spirit, of course. But read that again.
2 Peter 3 and 11. Seeing then that all these things should be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
Right. So we're supposed to conduct ourselves as children of the heavens, as our conversation is supposed to be up there, was going into a little earlier. Our minds up there, we've been alienated at first, as aliens to the covenant, but now we're citizens of the Lord. And how we conduct ourselves, going to that word conversation is going to conduct. We keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of our ability. All right, we know those return. We can eat bacon sandwiches. No. Are we out there smoking blunts? All right, big fat ones? No. All right, or we're moving according to the fear of Yahweh because it says he's the God of the precepts. That the day of trouble is going to come. It's just going to be bad. And then the earthly words, especially speaking English, we don't say it so clearly. You can watch movies, probably get some visual effect, but it takes away Sometimes because the psychological aspect is you're not involved in it. The time we're in right now, you're going to be directly involved in this time. That's why y'all should pray, John 17 chapter, that we protect from the east. Because we're going to be here too. It's like, man, we're talking on the name of the Lord. We don't have no master plan, backup plan, underground bunkers, none of that stuff. We just trust in God's for shine.
Either believe in a transformation. We believe in a twinkling of an eye.
Yes.
We believe that the Lord said we're going to renew our strength.
That goes into that standard. Again, the Lord, as we are here right now, we're in this low level, really required to be humble, be humiliated. Think about what Yahushua, think about Yahushua. Whatever you're going through, think about Yahushua. Yahushua, he had plenty of power. He had plenty of power. He said, I can call leaders of angels. But if the scripture has to be fulfilled, we have to be vicious right now, But the Lord is going to turn the dial up on Jake and going to our forefathers. The Lord lifts up the standard, doing stuff that you can't say that man did this. Saul killed thousands, David tens of thousands. How could one man kill tens of thousands of people in one day? However, that front was, the fight was, think about Samson, killing people with a jawbone, an axe, slicing, that's spiritual powers, so when the Lord gives men spiritual powers, going to the Acts first chapter, because of necessity, it's not for a shy show. Look, I can, Elias, I can flip the chicken with no hands. They do a music video. No, man, glorify y'all, not ourselves. But the Lord is going to do that for His men. Make way for escape also. That word standard means the way to flee. To fight. There you go.
Psalms 123, my people, one of these things are taking place. They do not willing in this life. It needs to be like brother in the camp. I just call these voices again. None of our people are need to see the very Psalms 123, the Lord, my people shall be willing in the day of thy power. The beauty of holiness in the womb of the morning thou hast to do thy people. What is going to restore our people? Again,
It's already happened. So it's not taking the form of as far as physical stroke. It's all spiritual. The sin has been linked to the word. The word set us free. But eventually, going to what Yahweh said, they have to see miracles. That's the point that she will come in. One deception. The prophet I was going to, I don't know if the last came or the camp before, the Lord's going to do something, because here it is, he's from that inside and do all this shit, people walking in, whatever, couldn't walk, couldn't speak. Now this nigga speaking sentences and all the other stuff, so the Lord got, because going to ancient Egypt, Moses and Aaron, hey man, pretty much gonna go to a showdown. Who's gonna be stronger? Test your might. The right hand or left hand. Obviously, right.
So basically, what he's gonna do is he's gonna force the hand forward. Basically, what Esau is gonna do. He's gonna force the hand. The more he moves, hey, he's gonna force the hand of the Lord. All right, from persecution to the miracles, all these things you do. Once he makes his chip mandatory, he's gonna force the hand of the Lord because the Lord got it. Come back now. All right. The scripture say, except no flesh be saved. Okay, so all these things he's gonna do is he's gonna further prophecy. He's gonna further his destruction, further his end. All right. The more and more he moves on with his NWO, his New World Order agenda, all right, the quicker he's gonna go down.
Second Peter chapter 3, verse 12. Looking forward and hasten unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
And I say, looking forward, hasting for the day, man. So, we looking at 2023 to be the year. 2023 don't come, we looking at 2024 to be the year. 2024 don't come to, every year we hoping that this is the year. All right, that's hasting. Okay, not saying that, oh Lord, come another 5 years from now, I just, I want to at least get me this new house and get this new job and this nice car and then you know then you can come. No, man, we hasten, dog. Yeah, we hasten, man, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Lord. We ain't sitting wait like even if shit could be good for a brother. You know what I'm saying? Like so called good, like everything good. He ain't being afflicted right now. The brother that's in the true spirit, he's still like, man, he still hates you. He can have all that shit laid out. He's still looking for the Lord to come that same hour, man. He's still looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord, man. All right, go ahead.
Well, to like the balance of the hasten, because right now the reason why we hasten like this because we see the Lord said measure time diligently. So we see all these prophecies, popping like popcorn. The stage is set, so we just pretty much wait on the grand finale. But this second Ezra chapter 4, verse 34, I'm gonna read through it pretty quick. And he answered me, saying, do not thou hasten above the most highest, but thou hastest in vain to be above him, but thou hast much exceeded. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask questions of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion?
Yeah, so in their chambers, been on their bed, asking me the same question, like, God damn, how long is this gonna go on? That's why it's going to a point. You can't fast in the Lord. You can't move fast in His book. Don't
How long shall I hope on this fashion? When cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward? And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seas is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doeth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. And so pretty much, hey, we on the heavenly time, man. The Lord got all this set. But now we see all these prophecies rolling. We can see, we know a part of prophesying part. So now we can see how this earth is going to melt with fervent heat. Everything has been made clear. We no longer seeing partial anymore. We as a mirror glass being white, we see these things clearly now. At verse 38, like two more verses says, then answered I and said, O Lord, that bears rule, even we are all full of iniquity, and for our sake peradventure is it that the floors of the righteous are not filled, because of the sins of them that dwell upon the earth. So he answered me and said, go thy way to a woman with child, and ask of her, when she hath fulfilled her 9 months, if her womb may keep the birth any longer within her. So that's pretty much, been a point. Amen. We see all these prophecies rolling. So, hey, once that the sea hip is mandated and is the World War III is officially popping off with all these nations involved in the middle of the East, the Valley of Yahushua, hey, then we know for sure that, hey, our salvation is not.
I got a quick precept. Keep going on point real fast. 1 Corinthians 9:24. Know ye not that they which run a race run all, for one receiveth the prize, so run that ye may obtain. And as that race, you know what I'm saying, once you see the finish line, you start taking off as the brothers are going to. We see all the set. We see that is right there. All right, so we know basically on what part of the race we on. We at the head stretch. It's right there. So now we taking off, man. Okay, we paced ourselves, we waited out. Now Elvis Hart said a couple weeks ago, he said, you ain't on fire, now is the time to be on fire. Why? Because the end is right there, right? As far as measuring the time. When the Lord has it set, well, as the brother went into, well, this is that set time. Scripture say, no, that is nigh even at the door. So we right there, man. We ain't in here another 5 more years, man. 10 more years. That ain't gonna happen. Okay, time is very, very short. So this is the point of the race that we're at. All right. Well, any day now, all it takes is one event. That's how close we are. One event, and then it's all downhill from there. Right.
Won't keep reading.
Oh yeah, go back.
All right, 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 12, it says, looking forward hastening unto the coming. That's another thing. Going to verse 11, Paul Peter says, seeing then that all these things should be dissolved, So if the Apostle Peter, the disciples seen it then, how much more now us in this day, man. With all this technology being increased the way that it is now. Right? Verse 12 though.
He was hasting back then.
Looking,
Okay.
looking for and hating until the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we according to his promise look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness.
Right. So again, we know the NLBO, say, Hollywood, old Earth's gonna blow up and then you gonna forge out to Mars. If I say we for Esau, he got the money, wealth, he got space station, he already got a head start. He's about to put you niggas in digital slavery and fly off to some other planet. But those Hollywood breakdown. But after all this, this would have stayed the Earth or body forever. The Earth's gonna be refreshed. Once that word new, I means refreshed. It's gonna be refreshed firstly with the rulership because the Earth will be all fresh and clean, but it's gonna get dirty again. If somebody's putting the wrong answer to somebody, look at the Earth right now. That's why what Sirach 10 chapter says the power of the earth in the hand of the Lord in due time is set one over. That's probably.
So get it. You get in. It's real quick because I forget what scripture it is, but it said he made a covenant with the constellation. Basically, when he spoke it in the creation, let there be light. He created the heavens and the earth. So that covenant or that oath, those things are gonna abide forever. He's not going to destroy the planet Earth. All right, he spoke and those came to existence. That's that oath, that covenant that he made, and it's gonna stay there. It ain't going nowhere.
He said he didn't make the Earth. He made it to be a heaven. That's why he took all that time. Then this nigga
6,000 years.
Exactly.
He gonna let Esau destroy it and
Power of the earth and two times one.
That's probable outside. Now we have said, suffer with me, you're gonna reign with me. I'm going to the Lord as per the state of the Isaiah, restore the judges from the first, the Al-Hayim, the original forefathers of creation, start with the blueprint of Heavenly Father Yahweh, even to Yahushai, the 100,000 the rest of his men, that's given unto Yahushai by Heavenly Father, they're gonna be back in power. And of course they're running right because they're the inventors of it, they're the originators of it. So they're gonna treat it with a different energy and respect, because they understand what they made, took the time and the effort. And here come this nigga Esau, who had no part in that. He just coming to F it all up, He's gonna make his own world, do this, do that. No, man, the Lord already made a promise. All right, man. According to what Daniel 7 chapter, someone get it real quick. Daniel 7:27, what goes out, this kingdom's gonna be given to a people. It's not gonna be for everybody. A true utopia is when Israelites are in power. That's what's going to create this peace on earth. The city of peace, which the people forced to place. Then being in power, starting with, again, the rulership of Yahushua, and it says in righteousness. It's not about doing what the hell we want to do. There are people who think about what the Lord did. He sacrificed, the law's done away with. What the hell's wrong with people? The law's not done away with. We're going to be done away with. We're getting a new body because for the state finding fault in us. The law's not going away. We're just in grace because we can't keep it. Our sorry ass can't keep it. So the Lord's going to give us a new body where we can keep that. That's going to be the righteousness. The Lord talks about the righteousness of me. His righteousness is the work, which is activated in his men. That's what's going to equate to righteousness and righteousness.
how basically we just subject is just going off. That's a program where all wicked thoughts just pop up in your head all the time, and you stuck with having to resist those things. It's like it's natural for this flesh to just cleave on the wickedness, Right? That's a natural thing. That's the program. Preacher made subject advantage. So just imagine that in righteousness, where you just subject to just doing good. All you can do is good.
Yes,
Yeah. No evil thoughts, nothing. It's just like how that flesh just want to just go off and just got that thing to go off. You like, damn, man, it's resilient. It's persistent. It's like, damn, like you get sometimes you get overwhelmed. Like, why is this nigga so wicked? You just get vexed. You get tired. But imagine that in righteousness. You just want to do good. All I want to do is good, good, good. Everything that pertains to the Most High. That's gonna be beautiful, man. That's so beautiful, bro. You know,
That's why going to the same precept was subject to that hope. Subject meaning under the authority. We're subject to hope for better things. Subject to ultimately the Lord's promises. That's why we look for them because what it says, Ezra, this world where something much glory to provide, if we're paraphrasing, this present life is not where much glory to provide, so what that's what we're looking for better things. Those gonna start with us first. That's why he's building us up better man, better ultimately service the Lord because this is a rehearsal, they all keep bringing up the same precepts and saying the same thing over and over again. What do you think a rehearsal is? It's a practice, eventually it's gonna be showtime. That's what we're trying to win. But yes, it's still something.
Psalm 144, verse 5. But there, Psalm 144, verse 5. But there are set wrong judgments.
Yeah, I'll still he's so throw a damn no. They talk about a new world order. Yeah, right. A new world order of what? Right? The devil's not original. The Tower of Babel. All y'all come join me in my agenda. We gonna fight against the Lord. That's what indirectly makes you do. He's making you fight against the Lord. You know, whether you know it or not. That's why Nicodemus said, "Careful how you deal with these dudes, because you come against their cause, you're gonna find yourself fighting against the Lord. And that's what your people are doing. You're fighting against the Lord, whether you know it or not. And the devil did a good job. He did a good job, man. He's been a good devil. He got who he had to get. Where he didn't get the elect, that's the point. But going to again how Ruth was set up, the house of David. Man, our forefathers been waiting a long time. Is all shit. And thinking about Yahushua, he said, "What will I if it already be kindled?" Meaning, I would have did this a long time ago. He would have did this a long time ago if he could. So all this waiting and everything, just now the point where now where everything's in its perfection. Right there, we're right talking about the finish line. Lord say, y'all got Frank from what's that nigga name from Frank? Whatever that dude name, he does that show Frank. Or y'all got punked or whatever. Ashton Kutcher, or y'all got punked. That was bullshit. No, bro. That'll make them unrighteous, bro. Yeah. That'll be some fucked up shit.
give up the spirit.
Yeah, just go.
Oh, wow. Y'all got a phone. Be like, yeah, I'm done. You just die. You go back to the heavens. Because, it ain't gonna happen.
Exactly. Because that's loading them called to be destroyed, but calling us not to wake up to one. Everlasting. But we died with going to the kingdom.
It's the book of Daniel 7, verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve.
Because the earth was made to be governed. You understand? So the kingdom, the domain shall be given unto someone. All right, this earth was made to be governed or under management, but governed by the laws. All right, because as you read in creation, he created the heavens and the earth. Then he gave you laws, such commandments on how to basically operate this planet Earth. All right, so this basically what he's saying is commit this kingdom and dominion shall be given to basically a fit ruler. And that's starting with Yahushua and elect.
Exactly. And it's going to be over them, not with them. He also said in Revelation, it's going to have over them, reign over them, not equal. Give to people things. Get there.
Who's finished off? We're finishing off. It says, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
That's what we're waiting for. That's not asset. We're waiting for.
It's the book of Psalms 148 and 13. Let them praise the name of the Lord, for his name alone is excellent. His glory is above the earth and heaven. He also
exalted. Real quick, that's why going to these great judgments, you're going to know there's only been Yahweh the whole time. Right now, the name of the Lord is not famous, so to speak. That's what it says in was it the Old Testament, by how they not, it's not been famous. That's why the name name of the Lord is going to be famous by what he does. It says the Lord alone in that day shall be exalted. Ain't nobody can say my idol did this, did that. No, the Lord did this. We've been telling you early, but y'all gonna find out the hard way, by great judgment. Go ahead.
Verse 14. He also exalteth the horn of his people,
Right.
the praise of all his saints, even to the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh.
Right. So the horn of his people going to strength, the strength of the Lord exalted. Right. That saints which are Israelites. Right. Not everybody went into all the people. The kingdom shall be given to the saints. Or they can say, oh, it's all inclusive. No, it's all for specific people. All right, going to the first fruit to them. All right, it's only the elect. It's not going to our people. They're not going to be kingdom. They're going to be righteous. As he says, all that people shall be righteous. They're going to be changed too, but they're not the body. Get the body going to the righteous. Going to the first fruits through the state. That's for those who have the first. Right, we're going to be seeing the whole process. The transition period. Because you're going to the kingdom calling. The transition period. It's not poof. Oh, there's that. Poof. There's that. No, it's a build up. It's a build up and it's a rising and a falling. That's what we're witnessing. This is history. Whether you like it or not, the Bible is history. There's a lot of stuff that has not been finished yet. We're waiting for that to happen right now. This place, so-called America, being Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed. First 18 chapters talking about so-called America. All right. All these prophecies that again going to the things that are left for us here in this time. All right, is for our learning. All right. So now we have it. We can see going through the roadmap. Man, this is our time. Now is our time to shine. Jake, because Jake has that zeal. Jake want to be kings and that, but there's a right way of doing it, man. It's ultimately waiting on the Lord. Because who's gonna get the shine first is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai gonna get the shine first. He's gonna put us on too, right? And that's what we're waiting for. We fear Yahweh Shai. It's a fourth chapter. We're gonna stick to it. We're not gonna add to it and take away from it. You do that. You read about what happens to you. So we stick to the script, and that's our success. Our success story as a nation of people is obedience. See, when have a didn't listen, this is what happens. What happens when we do listen? So with that, those are the edifying. That was our praises to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai,